For quite some time, I've been suspicious of Ashton Kutcher and his involvement in both the Epstein files as well as with other people currently in prison, such as Diddy. Today, we're going to take an investigative look as to why he may be the next person to be put in prison for some of the things that he potentially was involved in.
Investigators probing the Epstein files have turned their focus towards Hollywood celebrity Ashton Kutcher, as disturbing information surfaces about his ties to a massive blackmail murder machine running through Hollywood. According to an Epstein survivor, Kutcher was involved in luring victims for the trafficking network. But it doesn't stop there. He has blood on his hands, a lot of blood. We're talking about a series of high-profile unalivings, including two of his girlfriends, one of whom was the actor Brittany Murphy. As the investigation widens, Hollywood insiders are warning that Kutcher, once cast as Hollywood's golden boy, is likely the next cab off the rank to receive justice, and join his best friend Sean Combs and Danny Masterson in serving a long sentence behind bars.
And inside of this, we're going to get into that relationship that he had with Puffy and just how deeply he was ingrained in a lot of the crimes that Diddy was actually doing. And we're going to see if this is actually truthful and if there's anything actually there.
Ashton Kutcher knows it's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. It already has for his best friend Sean Diddy Combs and Danny Masterson, who is currently serving an indefinite period of 30 years to life in prison for a series of brutal rapes. The heinous nature of the crimes didn't stop Kutcher from writing a character letter to the judge in defense of his friend.
And I think this is where he got himself in a lot of trouble. Sitting here defending his friend that was then convicted really puts a bad look on Ashton Kutcher in the first place. One that he could probably wish that he took back.
It was only after the letter became public, sparking widespread outrage, that Kutcher and Kunis grudgingly issued an apology.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual abuse or...
It's crazy because these are famous people in society, that character letter should hold weight in a court of law. That really doesn't seem to make any sense for me, especially nowadays, since all of these people that are in those famous situations, the people that have that celebrity status, they all seem to be either involved with or know of what's going on as we talk about the darker side of Hollywood. So I don't know why that would make any of these people a good character witness.
Nothing says heartfelt apology like angrily turning the camera off after reading a script your legal team carefully crafted to rescue your careers from the dumpster fire of a celebrity rape scandal.
I agree. You could tell that she was definitely reading her script right there. So it's okay to say what you want to say in perfect fashion by writing it out first. But as he stated, it was done by a PR team. We already know this.
According to an Epstein survivor, Ashton's links to Diddy and Masterson are the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his concerns. They allege that Ashton, the butcher Kutcher, has blood on his hands.
The butcher Kutcher.
Not only is Kutcher directly involved in the death of his ex Brittany Murphy, but a whole host of other young women from in and around the 2000s Hollywood scene.
So this is going even deeper. This isn't just about the crimes that we typically speak of on this channel. This goes even deeper into him taking the life of other people, girlfriends.
You know who actually caused Brittany Murphy's death? This incredibly talented actress was found dead in her home in December 2009. Her death was ruled natural, with the cause being pneumonia, iron deficiency, and multiple drug intoxication. And her husband, Simon Monjack, passed away only 6 months later of the same thing, pneumonia. In an interview, her dad accused someone of poisoning her.
The fact is that she was poisoned.
Her mother, Sharon, was the first to be suspected because before Brittany died, she had her write a will and put everything in her own name. The second person in the spotlight, Ashton Kutcher.
First of all, I can't imagine it being a mother to go that far to get your own daughter's money. I definitely wouldn't suspect that. Ashton Kutcher, on the other hand, maybe.
Brittany's ex, I don't know if you knew this or not, these two have been close friends for...
Check that out right there. That image right there tells you those guys are buddies. And we know one of those buddies is in prison right now for a lot of bad things.
Years. And Kim Porter, Diddy's wife, also died from pneumonia.
Boom, right there. Diddy's wife also died from pneumonia. The correlation there of these two really good friends potentially faking the death of their ex-girlfriends or their wife. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not.
What's even stranger is that all three had the same coroner, Ed Winter, who passed away last March. People think this can't just be a coincidence.
According to an Epstein survivor, the day Brittany Murphy decided to speak to the authorities about the elite paedophile ring was the day she became a dead woman walking. Because back in the 2000s, the authorities weren't investigating Hollywood's trafficking network.
No.
They were protecting it.
And let's be honest, it kind of seems like they're still protecting it today.
There's also a theory that Brittany and her husband were poisoned by the government. It claims that Brittany was friends with whistleblower Julia Davis and got caught up. The couple was apparently convinced that the government was spying on them.
For Ashton Kutcher, the Masterson guilty verdict was a punch in the face. But the Diddy verdict? That was a hammer blow. He knows it's only a matter of time now. Because Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, has placed Kutcher at the scene of the crime.
I was around Ashton Kutcher and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to a Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. And Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security. And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. Because it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia, and they were in perfect health.
It's weird because you have to wonder, did things just get too messy with the side piece? And he had to get rid of the side piece to potentially save his marriage? Things could get messy when you're playing around like that.
I mean, it shivers that, because how can these two people be around the same people but die of the same death? Is it a case of the stories that they're going to expose them of, they become a threat, so they kill them off?
Epstein recruiter Jean-Luc Brunel suffered the same fate after he offered to testify against Epstein and his network of VIP pedophiles. The Department of Justice refused to hear his testimony, and from that very day forward, he was marked for death.
The Paris prosecutor's office has confirmed to NBC News that a former modeling agent linked to Jeffrey Epstein was found in his prison cell this morning. The office says that it appeared Jean-Luc Brunel, quote, died by suicide because he was discovered dead from hanging himself with his sheets. NBC's Raf Sanchez is joining us. This is astounding to hear, Raf, this breaking news, especially considering the fact that he died exactly the same way Jeffrey Epstein did.
So Epstein wasn't the only one that went out like that. Someone else did, leading us more to believe that it wasn't actually them doing it to themselves, but someone else was doing it to them.
Because the authorities don't investigate the elite paedophile ring, they protect it, they promote it, they're part of it. According to an Epstein survivor who was tracked to major Hollywood stars, not even 1% of the full horror has been revealed by the DOJ's Epstein files.
Wow.
She's blowing the whistle about Ashton Kutcher. Ever wonder why Alicia Silverstone never worked with Ashton Kutcher? Two Hollywood icons from the same era. Well, Silverstone knew that being close to Kutcher massively increased your chances of dying of a rare strain of pneumonia, or finding yourself in a pool of blood with dozens of stab wounds.
Wow.
If you're finding this hard to believe, if you think Hollywood couldn't be this evil, you haven't heard anything yet. Because Hollywood is rotten to the core. Look at Demi Moore. She was married to Kutcher while he was running around behind her back, staying close to Brittany Murphy while she was slowly being poisoned to death. And guess what? Demi is not some innocent victim in all this.
Oh boy.
She's knee-deep in the same filth herself. According to an Epstein survivor, Kutcher is the pawn that links the Diddy and Epstein networks. His role?
My name's Jane. I was one of Jeffrey's girls. 15 when they pulled me in. I'm done keeping quiet. There is this big Hollywood actor, you know, the pretty boy every teen girl's obsessed with. Jeffrey used him heavy, especially early on. When he was just starting out, he had to kill to get his shot at stardom. And he was damn good at it. He enjoyed it. Liked it messy, blood, screaming, gore. That's how he built his whole career.
Now, clearly what we're listening to here is someone that is reading this off of a script. Is it a script that they had written themselves or that was written for them? We don't know. The voice is also very strange. So clearly what's going to come into question right here is this AI? Is this real? Is this a true testimony from a victim? And unfortunately, that is not something that we're going to be able to confirm. So we have to use our judgment on this. Let's continue with it.
Once the girls were inside and wanted out, Jeffrey sent him back to handle it. I saw what he did to 2 girls who tried to talk. He's a psychopath, a serial killer hiding behind that famous smile. I know he was tight with Diddy too, but I can't talk about that. I can only speak on Jeffrey. He used him to lure the girls in and to shut them up when they got loud. He had a big career for a while, until it all fell apart. You can only keep those skeletons quiet for so long. I'll swear to every word about Jeffrey. The world needs to know who he really is. That's all I got on Ashton Kutcher.
It gets even worse. In 2001, Ashton Kutcher got stood up on a date, and then the next morning, that girl was found dead. The case was a baffling unsolved murder for years. But in 2024, a shocking new detail emerged that completely shifted the perspective on the entire case. Ashton Kutcher has a lot of explaining to do.
Ashton was supposed to be picking her up to go out on a date. And when he arrives to the house, he said that he noticed that there were wine stains everywhere. And so he left. The police later then find his fingerprints all over the place, and he's enthralled in a massive case. Now, they do have a guy named Michael Gargiulo that went to prison for this, who allegedly he admitted to. All the other ones except this one, he holds firm that he did not do it. But he's admitted to all the others. And he specifically said Ashton did that. Now, as you know, Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, wrote letters not very long ago for Danny Masterson, talking about, oh, he's a father and a great friend and this and that and the third.
Even if someone is a father, even if someone is a great friend, doesn't mean that they didn't commit those crimes, especially if you as the friend are also somehow involved committing crimes.
What they didn't anticipate is what Danny Masterson's girlfriend from 2001, the night that happened with Ashley Ellerin, to come out and say after they wrote the letters against her for him. And she says, Ashton, did you forget that I was there on speakerphone that night?
Oh boy.
I heard everything that you said. I know the secrets that you and your mentor keep, talking about the two of them. Ashton and Danny Masterson. Now, Danny Masterson he had Chrissy Bixler, who was his live-in girlfriend at the time. He was on speakerphone when Ashton called and was talking about what he had just seen at Ashley Ellerin's. So, he tells the police that he saw wine stains everywhere, okay, because it was too dark to see in and see wine stains everywhere, okay, that's lie number one. Number two, instead of leaving, freaked out, calling 911, trying to save anyone's life, he decides that he's scared about his career, is what he tells the police. So he decides he's going to call his best friend, Danny Masterson. Okay, now, he's your best friend, but you didn't know he was a girl at the time? Come on now. Spends an hour on the phone with Danny and his PR team, okay, outside of the apartment, never moves. They don't tell him to leave, they tell him to sit right there. So what do you think they had done? Allegedly for entertainment purposes. Only if this was a book, I would assume they had someone call in a fixer.
Basically saying that they took that time to put together a story that they would all play out, and that would be the happenings of that event.
From experience in the entertainment industry, but anyway. So here's the deal. When it came time for Danny Masterson to go down, do you think Ashton wanted to write those letters and ruin his career? No, but he didn't anticipate on the living girlfriend being over there on speakerphone the night of the conversation, because he still to this day did not know up until he wrote those letters that she was. He wrote those letters for Danny because he had to write those letters for Danny over Ashley Ellerin. Now use your imagination and let it run wild. Michael Gargiulo, the man that's in prison for it right now, admits to everything he's ever done, tells the truth about it, except for this one. Why? Then shortly thereafter, all of this stuff goes down in 01. They're trying to find a handler for him. Trying to find one. So finally they send in to me to clean all this mess up.
No.
Because even at best, if he didn't do it and Michael Gargiulo did do it, he thwarted an investigation to where the man could have been caught quicker. But I don't think Michael did it at all. And then now we see him involved with Brittany Murphy years later. And then you can put two and two together from there. Because even when all this stuff went down with Ashley Ellerin, him and Diddy were forming a bond. Oh, yeah.
So definitely some speculation here, but how deep do you think Ashton Kutcher actually is inside of this evil Hollywood space? Do you think he's guilty? And if so, will he have to pay for his crimes?